Now, do you just do Stevenson Ranch? Because I know there's a couple communities out there. There's also
Yeah,
West Ridge
basically,
and-
my area
Right.
is going to be Stevenson Ranch and the residents there. I will
Okay.
also monitor all the different types of crime reports that come out of the big shopping center right there on the corner of Pico and Stevenson, or Pico and the Old Road,
Right.
Walmart, Toys R Us, that whole area that all falls under my jurisdiction.
Okay. And so and you were just out there recently, was it last night or earlier
Yeah,
this
last
week?
night.
Just kind of talking to the community. Was it to an HOA group? or-
Yeah, last night was their version of the town hall meeting. The
Okay.
community comes together and talks about events and stuff that are coming up in their community and concerns and things of that nature.
And one of the things you talked about that we also want to hit on later was, identity theft prevention and ways people can not be a victim, right?
Right.
Also want to talk about service dogs on the show today and parenting.com named Santa Clarita a safe city, third safest in the United States. And it's interesting to mention that because I know I was just talking about how busy deputies were, but I think it's an important distinction to note, the difference between, say, like a gang-related shooting and, a tragic domestic incident. They're both sad and unfortunate and cost lives, but they are a different nature and they are of a different crime classification. And those domestic incidents really happen everywhere. I don't know if it's necessarily indicative of a rising crime per se.
Yeah,
So
no,
I think that
domestic's something totally
parenting.com, there still is some validity to that ranking, but it was just kind of unfortunate time to announce that and then to have
Right.
these incidents come out. But just to update everybody on what's going on there was a fatal shooting last night in Canyon Country at the 27,500 block of Sierra Highway. We've gotten a few calls, so we just wanted to update the situation. Detectives with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Homicide Bureau are investigating that situation. The latest that we're hearing is that there is no suspect in custody. They believe there are two people that they are looking for. I don't know if they're persons of interest or suspects at this moment, but there's definitely two male blacks sought for questioning. And the coroners confirmed that one man was killed, a 21-year-old was the victim, and a woman was hurt, and they're still trying to get information from witnesses as far as the nature of the incident. And they're kind of working around that. But one woman is injured in stable condition. One person was killed. There was some sort of dispute in Canyon Country at around 4:30 last night, and then the situation. I don't know if you have a TV or the internet, but it was it was probably on there last night. So that was all over. That's still a very active investigation. I talked to Lieutenant Eddie Hernandez with the Homicide Department. He said as of about 8:30 this morning, they were still out there collecting evidence. So I can only imagine how much work is involved in that kind of scene. But we will keep you updated on hometownstation.com and keep you updated with developments as they occur, as we get them. But right now, again, still looking for a suspect in that situation. And if you know anything, deputies ask that you call 661-255-1121. So get the word out about that, and hopefully the community can help effect an arrest. And another unusual story. Again, we don't get a lot of shooting murders, but we also definitely don't get a lot of fake police department impersonation allegations.
That's true.
It's certainly not one I can say that I've never covered that in my 10 years. But and even stranger, the person who is accused of holding this fake police department and presenting it to different law enforcement agencies, including the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station, is that there are ties to Kamala Harris's office, the California Department of Justice. So that kind of escalated the story to another level. There are 3 suspects in that case, and they are all out on bail at the moment and do not have court dates as of yet, but they are expected back in court to answer to those charges that were released by the Sheriff's Department earlier this week. And we have about 40 seconds left for a commercial break, so I'm not going to push it this time, Dux. We're just going to go a little early and come
Sounds
back
good.
and give them extra show on the second segment. Is that okay, Justin? All right. We'll be right back on this after a quick commercial break by All American Bail Bonds on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley. We're here on your Neighborhood Watch, twice a month, bringing you crime prevention, law enforcement outreach with Deputy Kevin Duxbury and myself in the studio on your hometown station. And we were just talking about some crime incidents that had happened, and there was one other one that I wanted to mention because it was a good outcome, I think, for a shooting incident. There was an arrest made. The deputies, there was 2 reported shootings yesterday. There was the shooting in Canyon Country that was all over the media. And then before that, there was a report of a shooting about an hour earlier at Lost Canyon Road and Placerita Canyon Road. And speaking to Sheriff Station officials shortly before I came on the phone, found out that, on that incident, a vehicle was traveling northbound on the 14 south of Golden Valley Road and saw that, somebody was tailing him. There was some sort of, a road rage building. You know, I'm
Right.
sure you've heard that story a thousand
yeah.
times, Deputy Duxbury. And so he pulled up. There was another vehicle pulled alongside him. There was some words exchanged, probably some gestures, perhaps, who knows. And then one of the drivers, the victim, noticed his back window was blown out. It's still under investigation as far as whether or not it was shot out or someone threw a rock at it. But the victim believed that his car was shot at, reported the information to deputies. The deputies were able to track down the person, and an arrest was made. Ivan Jimenez is in custody for assault with a deadly weapon, 26-year-old male, and he's in custody, and deputies were able to track him down within about an hour and a half based on the information from their investigation. So a good outcome there, and again, just speaks to road rage and just how unfortunately common it is and how avoidable it is, and it never really needs to be escalated to that.
Yeah.
But
It is.
Sucks.
Road rage is just so
So
petty.
1990s.
It's so petty. It's just something that doesn't need. Just take a breath.
Yeah.
Relax, and now look at this over. Who knows what the actual violation was that got this person so irritated.
Maybe he got cut off.
Now he's sitting in jail.
Yeah. So,
Really?
probably not worth it.
No.
Another thing we want to talk about is service dogs.
Service dogs.
You like dogs?
I like dogs. I like caravans better though.
Oh, great reference. Thank you, Ducks, for those who didn't get that. Lock, stock, and it's been an issue that I've heard discussed because there's been some concerns from community members and from business owners. One story that I heard that kind of stuck out to me was that there was a local bar in the Santa Clarita Valley. We won't name it, but let's just say it rhymes with the boo. There was a certain hip hop night there, and a woman wanted to bring her pit bull and it had a blanket over that said it was a service dog.
Right.
And so I'm not a health expert, and I don't know county animal control regulations, but I can't imagine bringing a pit bull into a hip hop night at a bar is going to provide a lot of safe situations for anyone involved.
Right.
And so, obviously the owner was concerned about that, was kind of how the story was relayed to me, and brought it to deputies' attention. And ultimately, a business owner does have the right, if they feel like the service dog represents a threat to somebody, right?
Well,
But we can't go to broad stroke. I want to back up and kind of explain that you have some information, Dux, it's that I think will help our listeners and kind of evaluate, like, when is it a good, safe idea to have a service dog, and when is it maybe you don't want to bring it to hip-hop night at the bar.
Right.
So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've been getting, when I was out working patrol and stuff like that, I was getting a lot of things with people wanting to bring therapy and comfort dogs into businesses, and the businesses were saying, we're very confused by this, and I was too. I see these little blankets on them that say therapy dog. And it just, I really had to look into it. So I got on the American Disabilities Act website, which is ada.gov, and I looked up service animals to find out what was going on, okay? And per the ADA, okay, when they talk about service animals, this is their definition. Service animals are defined as dogs that are individually trained to do work or perform a task for people with a disability. Examples include guiding people who are blind, alerting people who are deaf, pulling a wheelchair. I'm not talking close enough to the mic, apparently.
I blame Justin. Don't worry about it. It's really his fault.
Alerting and protecting a person who is having a seizure. Reminding a person with a mental illness to take prescribed medications. And this one I thought was really interesting. Calming a person with post-traumatic stress disorder during an anxiety attack.
Back that one up. Medication? What was the one before that?
This was a person with a mental illness, and the animal is specifically trained to remind them to take their medications.
That is
Okay.
That is impressive. I didn't know. Did you know that, Justin?
I had no idea dogs could do that.
I didn't know that either. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Now, these dogs are specifically trained by a licensed training agency. When you register these dogs with your local animal shelter, they are given a special tag which identifies them as a service animal. These animals are not pets, okay? They are specifically trained
These
to
are
do...
working
Yeah,
dogs.
these are working dogs, okay, if you want to call them that, and they are referred to as service animals. Now, per the ADA, these service animals are allowed to go anywhere that the owner needs them. The only exception to that is environments which are considered sterile. That would be like a surgery room. certain parts of a hospital, not anywhere the general public can go in a hospital, but they give an example of a burn treatment center where even the waiting room is sterile, and you would not want to bring that dog in there. Or a lot of these computer assembly plants where you've seen them, the people wearing the jumpsuits and the masks, and they're completely
On TV, just, but yeah.
you wouldn't be allowed to bring the
They
dog
wouldn't
in
let me
there.
near a sterile.
But other than that,
restaurant
they
from-
are actually allowed to go anywhere the owner goes
That's
because this is their aid. Now let's talk a little bit, though, about these therapy and comfort dogs, okay? They are actually a completely different class. The ADA does not recognize them as service dogs.
So so we're making a distinction now between a service dog and a therapy dog.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Now, therapy dogs, let me look at my notes here real quick. Therapy dogs are defined as emotional support dogs that provide comfort and support in forms of affection and compassion for
No, I didn't mean to
Okay.
interrupt you, Jen. Sorry.
suffering from various mental and emotional conditions. Okay.
So that's kind of a broader spectrum, and it's not necessarily as clinically diagnosed per
Exactly.
se. if I'm
Yes.
good?
As a matter of fact, when I'm again looking at the ADA website, these dogs actually do not have to be specifically trained. Okay. It actually can be your own personal animal. If you have an animal that you want to declare, this is my therapy dog or this is my comfort dog, you can do that. And simply by going to the registry.
You thinking what I'm thinking, Kyle?
Well, I'm just thinking that I guess we all have therapy dogs then, because we all talk to our
Right,
dogs,
right.
Whose dog
So-
doesn't provide them some
My
sort
dog's
of
a therapy
catharsis
dog, I guess.
or well-being?
Well, so you can, there's actually numerous websites out there for these therapy and comfort dogs.
All right, Dux, we're going to talk a little bit more about the difference. We have to take a quick commercial break. I told him I'd give him a little extra this time around, right, Justin? All right, so we'll be right back on your hometown station on the Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds, AM 1220 KHTS.